Alright, so I figured I'd do another update on this machine. From my last video that I posted, I think it had a little over 600 miles on it. Since then, I've done my second oil change. Let's see where we're at here. 851 miles. 57 hours. Got 17.5 more, and then I'll be changing it again. The second oil change, I didn't do the oil filter just because they say every 50 hours change the oil filter. So I got one sitting at home, so the next time I do my oil change, I'm just going to buy the jugs of oil, and I got an oil filter all ready for it. So since my last video, I installed the Polaris winch, and then it comes with like the mount and stuff, and the D-ring's kind of fancy looking. It's got the little angles to it, and it actually says Polaris on it. Nice little touch, but not necessary. I got a really good deal though. I had a bunch of Polaris coupons. I was using I think it was $50 off if you spent $500 when I bought the bumper and the bars there and the rack and the rear bumper and all that stuff, the bag. And then with the winch, I think I had bought like an oil change kit and the winch and something else, but it added up to $500. And if it was this coupon I got in the mail, if you spend $500, you get $100 off. So essentially, I got an oil change kit for normal price, and then theoretically got $100 off the winch. So it was a pretty good deal. And the bolt up is really nice. I just didn't want to risk ordering something Chinese off of Amazon or eBay and having fitment issues. The only thing I've ever had a fitment issue with was this bar here. Actually, it was the plate that goes underneath, and it was on both sides. I don't know if I can see. Let's see if I can check it out. Yeah, right there. So around that bar, not that side, but this side, you can see kind of a burr. And it's not as nice and rounded like that side is. It's squared off. It's because I had to cut that out. I had to cut about a 1/4 inch of metal off of each side. Ooh, I'm going to try and reach up. Right here, I had to cut a 1/4 inch out of there on both sides of the machine. I didn't have to touch this other side though, but it wouldn't go up in there. That piece of frame was in the way. But after I cut it, I just sprayed a little bit of bed liner on it, and it covered up the metal. I'll probably take that off and either have it powder coated black or paint it black. Since driving around, I haven't had any issues, no drivetrain issues. The transmission, the gear mesh as you're driving, I can still hear it making a noise, but I mean, it doesn't affect anything. It's just almost like vibration. It's harmonic. You can hear the gears meshing. It's like you can hear the meshing as it's rolling, and the harmonic of it is just it's a balanced harmonic. So I know it's not like something loose, broken, flopping around inside there. It's just the vibration is harmonic, and I can hear it, and it bugs me a little bit, but at least it's not like a mechanical issue. And then right here, it's wet, and it's staying wet because it's bare metal. But right there, they must not have prepped the arm well enough, but the paint chipped and it's rusted there now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some steel wool, clean it up, and I'm going to prep the area around it. I don't want to sandblast it because I don't want to have to do a huge patch, but I'm going to buy some either Rust-Oleum black enamel paint and just touch it up, or find the touch-up paint from Polaris and do it. But that's the only spot that I can see rust. And then in the last video I said how the spring was touching. I think how I'm going to fix that is I'm going to break this weld, move this tab out this way more, and then weld it so then the spring, instead of being straight, is at an angle out that way. It'll keep the spring away. It's blurring, there we go. And then you see this little patch right here where it's rubbing. I kind of think that this, I mean, that's kind of a stretch, but I don't know why that would be there. It's the only spot that's shiny. Everything else is like mud baked, and this is like, looks like something's been rubbing on it like that. I think it's this coming up. But man, that's a freaking cycle of the suspension, if that's what it is. And then I had to bring it to the dealer because there was this issue I was having. I'm not going to replicate it just because I don't want to do it anymore, just because I feel like it's not healthy for the motor. But when you feather the throttle like this, just really quick, like that, it would stall out. And I mean, you're not supposed to be doing that anyway, but when I'm creeping through my yard, sometimes I like to feather it. Or when I'm going through the woods, I'm only going like 2 miles an hour in low gear, I'll feather it just to kind of creep around trees. Because I mean, if you're in low gear and you're just steady on the throttle, you can get about 5 miles an hour. You can't just creep at 2 or 3 miles an hour unless you're feathering it. So I'm trying to creep around trees and stuff, and it would stall out. And then before it would stall out, the top end, you would hear this like clack, 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 and then it would go away. And it freaked me out. Thought maybe the timing chain was slapping around, or maybe the auto decomp on the cam was clicking away or something. But I brought it to the dealer, and all they done was adjust the cable, which did nothing. It still does the noise, but at least now I got like that slop right there. That's after him adjusting the cable. Before it was like, whew, I had like a 1/2 inch of freaking slop in here. It was just kind of wild. But so you got the normal slop. You need that. Like, no machine should be super tight, because you risk, if you steer, you risk the cable stretching and then hitting the throttle, and then you're kind of screwed when it decides to take off into whatever direction you're steering. So you got the free play, and then you have the take up here. It's almost like a trigger on a gun. So you have your first stage, and then you have your second stage right there, and that's the take up in the spring. And that's the little mechanism on the inside here that touches. So right here's nothing, and then here is boom, you make contact. That is it getting out of that stage up in here, so then you can actually throttle. And this sometimes gives people issues. They got to adjust it or put a zip tie in there or something. I'm not having any issues with it, but so the throttle's pretty nice now. But yeah, it kind of freaked me out. So I contacted Polaris, and Polaris was actually pretty cool. I talked to this guy, Connor. He understood my kind of a fear of it potentially like blowing up or something. I only got 3 months left on my warranty. And after a couple days, he got back a hold of me. He's like, you know what we're going to do is we're going to extend your warranty 6 months. So rather than just having the 6-month factory warranty, now I have a full year. So it expires the day that I bought this thing, but in 2026. So I got a full year of warranty on it, which is pretty cool. He just said he wanted to do that. So if there is any issue and something happens, then I can just bring it in and get it fixed, which is pretty cool, because the dealers, they basically, they don't want to have to do this work. They really don't want to. So they'll look at it and be like, yeah, that's fine, get it out of here. Or they'll sit on it for like 3 weeks and say, yep, we didn't find anything. So the fact that I can now continue just to drive it the way I normally do, and just enjoy it and not have to worry about if the engine's gonna catastrophically blow up or something. Because I do engine rebuilds for a hobby, so like rebuilding this thing wouldn't be an issue for me. I just really hope I don't have to rebuild it until this thing hits, like, I don't know, 20,000-30,000 miles, and then even then I don't want it to blow up. I just want it to have high miles and rebuild it because I want to rebuild it, you know. But what did I do? I'd done the valve clearance since that last video. I'd done the valve clearance, I think a little after or a little before my second oil change. I had that checked, and the belt looked good, the clutch looks great. There was no dirt or mud or water or anything in there, which is cool. But the valve clearance was pretty much spot on to the factory setting. So that was like 800 miles and no change in the valve seats. Usually any other engine I've seen that you rip on it after the break-in period, the valves start to eat into the head just a little bit. I mean, it's just natural. That's what it's going to do. But yeah, valve clearance was good. I am a little irritated that they went with bucket style valves. I hate bucket style valves because then you got to put shims in there, and that's ridiculous. I like the ones with the rockers where you can adjust the little nut and bolt on the top and set your clearance. The 550 Sportsmans have that. I don't know how the 1000 or the 850, if they still make it today, I don't know how those engines are, but I hate bucket style. I like the old-fashioned tap-it style. But the bucket style is more efficient, less drag. So another thing, I don't know if I said it in the last video. I think I did. I said grease up your airbox O-ring. I thought that maybe muddy water had made it through here, so that's why I greased it up. It is in fact not making it through the O-ring seal, so I mean, it's not going to hurt to put grease on it anyway. If you see up in there, I mean, you can see the muddy water splatter up underneath the tank, and that's also where the intake goes up into. And if I take this off, you will see, this is just from regular riding around, like I don't mud this thing. You will see, I mean, there's mud drops there, mud drops down there. It's in here, and then up underneath the cover just a little bit. You can't really see because of the lighting, but the filter is filthy. Look at that thing. So I'm gonna end up cleaning that. I want to get an outerwear for that filter for sure. I think Polaris actually makes a upgraded filter. I think it's blue, and it's like a cloth metal fiber mesh, similar to like a K&N. But I know some people run unis. I would like to run a uni. I just, while it's under warranty, I'd rather be running what Polaris recommends. But the outerwear is crucial because the outerwear has such a fine mesh on it that it kind of reacts with the surface tension of water. So when water hits the outerwear, it rolls off. So if you have mud come through here and then it lands on the filter, it's going to roll off and fall into the bottom of the filter. So the outerwear is kind of a cool thing to have on there. I need to get one of those. But I'll post. I have a couple of the videos of the blipping the throttle and the weird sound it makes. You typically don't drive around like that. I don't recommend it now that I know it causes those crazy sounds. But as far as the machine in general, though, it's been pretty nice to me so far. This is only, I mean, I got this thing June 3rd. So June 3rd, July, August, September. So it's been 3 months. Man, my math is not good right now. I'm trying to do the exact day as far as how long we've had it, but yeah, it hasn't been too long. Put a lot of miles on it. I'm trying to do as much with it as possible within my warranty period without like beating the crap out of it. But I'm just trying to get my normal everyday use out of it. So, but I had a comment from a guy on the steering. He asked how the steering was. I gotta wipe this grease somewhere. I'm gonna wipe it on this plastic. I don't want to touch my handlebar. But he asked how the steering was, and honestly, if you're driving, it's so much easier to steer, and also your toe alignment is a factor in steering. Polaris had this thing kind of duck-footed when I first got it, and it steered like absolute crap. I towed it in, and both tie rods had the same amount of space between them, which I almost want to say is like 9. Is it 9 3/4 inch or 9 1/4? I can't remember, but each side is the same. And I got exactly 1/8 of an inch of toe in on both sides, so 1/4 inch total of toe in, and it steers pretty good. Like I can steer by hand on this concrete pretty easy, but when you're moving, it's better. The steering geometry of it, though, because your wheel is kind of slanted back, like your pivot point is slanted back. So when you go in reverse, whatever way you're steering, it's going to yank the wheel that way because of how it's tilted. The ground wants to pull it either way, whatever you're steering. So when you're going in reverse, just take it easy. Don't go fast. I know it has the override button to go fast in reverse, but if you're going fast in reverse, just try to keep that wheel straight, because if you turn your wheel a little bit, it's going to just jerk it and damn near yank the bars out of your hands. But they steer pretty good. 2026 has a new model color coming out. Same model as this, but the color is ghost gray. It's got like blue accents where the black is. It's pretty sharp. I'm thinking that's the one we're going to get for my fiance, because the 450, I can't remember in my last video what I said my speed, my top speed was, but I tested it again after the mileage I put on it to date, and I got up to 52 mile an hour between probably a good 100-yard stretch. Got up to 52. It gets up to 40 and probably about 50 or 60 feet. It can get up to 40. But then after that, it takes quite a while to climb up to 52. It really, you have to have a wide open area to get up to 52. People are saying these things can go 60, and I really don't see it going 60, but I don't need that. I don't need speed. I had a Can-Am Renegade 800, and speed really isn't my thing anymore. So, but yeah, I do highly recommend Polaris. As of right now, the machine runs pretty good. Like, I'll fire it up right now and I'll try to get this air box clamped back down because I don't want to be sucking in outside particles to the filter. Okay. Still runs great. Little bit of clatter, but yeah, it revs up just fine. Check our temp, 122. I also recommend, I mean, this thing was already running, so it's still pretty warm. I recommend letting your engines warm up to about 160, 170 before actually going out for a ride. Especially in the winter, if you're using it in the winter, let it warm up. My machines, I've always let them warm up to 160 just because I really think that when people hop on these things, I see a lot of people, they just hop on them, fire them up and go. And the engine's like 60 or 70 degrees. That is just rough. That is so rough. Your cylinder wall hasn't had the chance to expand. And the thing is when you take off and your engine's only 60 degrees, your piston is going to expand significantly faster than your bore. Because your bore usually is, the sleeve is steel. It's usually not mated to the actual head or the cylinder housing. It's a sleeve pressed in, and it's steel. But your piston's aluminum, and if you take off and it's like 60, 70 degrees, that piston is going to, and it's going to plug up in the cylinder, and you could cause some crazy hell in the top end of that engine. Just don't do it. Let your engine warm up. If you want to, I've done this a few times where if I really got to get to work quick, I'll put it in low and I'll just barely touch the throttle and I'll just creep. And it idles at like, I think 18, no, I think it's 1300. Let's see what RPM this thing, it might be like 1250 or 1300, I think. We'll see. It'll probably die down. 1300, yeah. But so yeah, there you go, 1250. But I'll creep like this. And that'll get you moving. Not fast, but it'll get you moving, and the RPMs aren't crazy to where it's going to seize up your engine. But you can start to move it, and it'll help the engine warm up a little bit faster, but not at a rate that you're going to cause harm. Most vehicles, like trucks and cars and stuff, if you notice when you fire up your vehicle, it just like revs to the moon, and then it stays there for a little bit. That's why I see a lot of people, they hop in their vehicle, they fire it up, and they just slam it into gear, and it's like clong. It's like, oh my God, you don't know what you're doing. Don't be doing that. Vehicles rev up really high, and then they stay up there, and they slowly come back down, and then they'll eventually settle at the RPM they're supposed to be at. And that's just because it's trying to warm the engine up. So you can push the throttle a little bit and keep it at like 1800 and let it idle there and warm up a little bit faster. But don't hop on this thing and just take off at like 4,500 RPM. You're gonna do some serious harm. But I kind of wandered off the the track of the video, but I figured I'd try and share a little bit of info to increase the longevity of your machine, because I mean, these things aren't cheap. Like I said in my last video, it's pretty scary paying that much money. But the customer service of Polaris, and like, the quality isn't 100%, but the customer service is definitely 100%. They do exactly what you would hope customer service would do. So I tried talking to my Can-Am dealer. Like, my dealer here, he's pretty cool. The worker who came out, or the tech that checked this quad out, kind of seemed irritated, but the guy who owns the facility, he's pretty cool. But the customer service on the phone was significantly better than Can-Am. I honestly had a really hard time contacting people about my Can-Am machine. I think it might have been somewhere in Canada or something that I had to contact customer service, but yeah, just treat your machines right. Don't rot on it. Treat it nice. Change your oil frequently. It doesn't hurt to change your oil frequently. Every 25 hours if you don't care about buying oil, but for sure every 50 hours. Don't go over that. At 25 hours, this oil came out looking brown. Okay, so I did my initial oil change. That oil looked good just because I was really going slow, breaking it in. That was the first 25 hours. The second 25 hours, when I hit 50 hours and I drained that oil, it was brown. It goes in golden, clear. It came out brown. I really wouldn't recommend going 50 if you ride this thing like a normal person does. Don't wait 50 hours to do the second oil change. Just do it at 25. The $40 or $50 oil change kit is well worth not having to worry about your bottom end components. Like, just do it. Just get the oil, change the oil. It's cheap. And I was pretty shocked at how brown that oil was. So at 75 hours, I am taking that oil filter off, and she's getting another oil change. But yep, steering is nice on these things, as long as you're moving forward. Slow speeds is a little hard, but I don't feel there's really a need for power steering unless you're older, or maybe you have issues in your joints. Like, I got something going on with my elbows, and I got torn rotator cuffs, and it hurts a little bit, but it's tolerable. So I'll do another update later down the road on this machine, and let you guys know how it's doing, and the noises and stuff like that. But take care.